Okay, we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everybody to How to Achieve the Perfect Credit Score. Thank you for joining us this morning. And just a reminder, this is being recorded and we will be posting to our Facebook page as well as our YouTube channel as well. So you can always look back at that if you miss anything or you just want to go back. So before we begin, I'd like to go over what ElderWorks does. We are a not-for-profit organization, and our mission is to provide older adults, seniors, families with information, referrals, and guidance for senior living, home care, and support services to help make appropriate decisions. And the guidance that we provide will help seniors stay home well or transition successfully into a new senior housing opportunity. We do have a holiday fundraiser going on right now. We are doing gift wrapping every Wednesday, so today. And we're in Palatine. If you're close to Palatine, you can bring in any gifts you have, and we have volunteers that will wrap them for you. And we also have a holiday raffle baskets. We have close to 20 different baskets that you can put tickets in. Tickets are only $1 a piece, or you can get 6 for $5. And those are also available online as well. You can take a look at those. Just put in the chat if you're interested, and I can send you that information. If you have questions throughout Anterio's presentation, you can use the chat box or the Q&A button on your screen, and he will be stopping periodically throughout his presentation to go over any questions that come up. And we also have a short survey that will show up on your screen as you exit, so we'd appreciate any feedback. Anterio also has a pre-test and a post-test that we'll be sharing with you as well. So now I'd like to introduce Anterio Jackson from Credit Honor. He is a financial coach and college and career expert. He is a board certified credit consultant specialist, and he started his company Credit Honor because credit education and finances are not taught on purpose, and the many people who have been educated know only a fraction of the whole story. He is passionate about educating, presenting quality content, and delivering on his promise. He always makes sure that clients and partners are well informed. And the relationship he builds with his clients means more to him than just the monetary transactions. So I will go ahead and turn it over to Anterio. Thank you.
Thank you, Emily. I appreciate it. We're back much well from the last week. I apologize for my absence. I had a little bit of an accident. For this week's presentation, it's really going to be dope. I think that the material here for what I have to present to you guys will definitely give you more awareness into how things are as it relates to the credit and how it overall works in the interim, right, from the back office. Now, we would never know the true formula of it all, but we will know exactly what they're looking for in terms of the perfect credit score, how to get the perfect credit score. So I'm going to break down definitely what credit is and a few other topics today. There's a pretest that Emily put in the chat. If you can all take the pretest for me, that will be amazing. And we're going to get this party started. So I definitely am going to present to you guys, and we're going to move forward. So if you have questions throughout the presentation, feel free to plug it in the chat, and we will go from there. So as it relates to my company, for those of you who are new, my company is called Credit Honor. It is a business consulting and financial services company. And we're dedicated to helping individuals, families, and businesses protect their health from legacy. So I specialize in helping people reach their goals through financial superiority, goal setting, and wealth building. My mission is to engage, educate, and empower clients and to be the most reliable and impactful brand in financial services today. As it relates to my primary services, one of the goals of things that people have with me is their personal credit, right? So one of the things that I offer is personal credit building service, business credit building, debt to wealth program, which is a debt elimination program, teaching you how to use your insurance policy to get out of debt in less than 9 years, including your mortgage and student loans, student loan forgiveness and discharge, funeral assistance plan. Business consulting services revolve around coaching and consulting. Credit and finance seminars. I have tons of seminars. Over the past couple of years, I've committed to doing over 500 and about 36, 37 presentations so far. All-in-one business software. I set up automation of software and CRMs for companies, business entity setup assistance, and business plan creation with a business model canvas. As you all know, the pretest is for this topic. If you all would, this is what it is on the screen. If you put this link in your URL, not your Google search engine, put it in the URL of the web browser, just as it says, bit.ly/week2 pretest. And you will be able to take that quiz. It's about 10 questions long, but it's to test your knowledge on the content that I'm delivering today. So if you would have a second to take this test, and for those of you on this presentation, let me know what your score is out of 10. If it's a 5 out of 10 or 7 out of 10 or 9 out of 10, I would like to know what your score is, because the average score for pretest 2 is about a 5 out of 10. So some people know part of the information, but not all of the information. And we're going to have a post test to reconcile the information. So I'm going to take a few moments for those of you on this presentation to take that pretest. And by taking a pretest, please include your score in the chat box here on this Zoom presentation. And for those of you out there, of course, I'll also see your scores as well for those of you who are not on the Zoom. And if you'd like to have a conversation about the material, please feel free, reach out to me. Elaine got a 7 out of 10. Which questions do you think were your hardest? Like which one do you think you got wrong, Elaine? Because I know some of them were kind of like head scratchers where you had to think about the question. For many people, some of it would be general knowledge. For some, you have to dig a little deeper. But it was a good one. Are you muted? Yes.
Here, I can allow you to talk, Elaine. Okay. Here we go.
Okay. In answer to your question, I wasn't sure in the beginning, like with the first couple of questions, whether that was to draw me into all the answers or whether it was to unique to the credit industry.
Absolutely.
So it could have been that issue.
Okay. Perfect. I like to make it a little challenging. I want people to read it. But if it's something you don't know, then it'd be kind of tough for you. For the many places I did this workshop for, people were amazed at that they, because I asked them beforehand, like, do you know credit? Do you know what it's all about? Many say yes. And then when I blow this test out, it's like, oh, I thought I really knew it. So they knew of credit, but didn't know the intricacies of the actual credit education. So that's what I want to present here today. So thank you so much, Elaine. And hopefully when we get the post test, we get you that 10 out of 10.
Okay. I'm still waiting on the prize from last time.
Which was
I don't know, some percentage off or off of something on coupon.
Right. So I would have to forward that to you directly via email from those that were included in that took it. And I had some hiccups regarding the sign-up process that I needed to fix. But you definitely will have that today. My apologies for that.
Yeah,
so
I figured you'd get to it.
I take ownership of that. So definitely thank you for reminding me too as well. So as we begin, the first question that comes up is, what is credit? Last week we talked about the history of credit. Today we're talking about more of what is credit and how to get the perfect credit score. So with what is credit, we know that credit is the ability of a customer to obtain goods and services before payment based on the trust that that payment will be made in the future. Another definition is when someone lends you money and you pay them back with interest, they have what is called extended you credit. Credit is the ability to borrow money and manage it responsibly. And lastly, buy now, pay tomorrow. These are all different types of definitions for what credit is. And I wanted to be able to give that to you. How many people on this call, you can put it in the chat, how many people on this call have loaned money out to someone? We all have, right? We all have loaned money to someone. What would be the percentage of the people that you've loaned money out to? How many of that percentage, how many of them paid you back in full? Right? So that number can vary. Some have received nothing at all, some received something back. So if you receive nothing back from the initial borrow, that's good. That's very rare. So 100%, that's very rare. So some have not received everything back. So for those that haven't received the 100% back, what are the chances of you likely letting them borrow money again? Very low. So what they have done is you've extended them credit. Now they now have, by not paying you back, they now have bad credit with you. That trust is gone now. So think about how lenders give you credit cards, unsecured credit cards, affinity cards, different things of that nature. And there are people that don't make their payments on time. Of course, there's a repercussion to that, and that is the reporting side where you lose points on your credit score. So credit, the favorable reputation derived from the confidence of others, honor, good opinion, founded on the belief of a person's veracity, integrity, abilities, and virtue. Credit is based on trust. So a lender trusts that a borrower will honor the debt and pay it back according to their agreement. A creditor is someone who's willing to place his or her faith in you. The word creditor is derived from the Latin word credere, which means to put faith or trust in, to believe. How many people do you trust, right? So lenders, merchants, service providers known as collectives, collections, or collection companies, or as creditors, grant credit based on their confidence that you can be trusted to pay back what you borrow, along with any finance charges that may apply. So, to the extent that creditors consider you worthy of their trust, you are said to be what is called credit worthy, or to have good credit, right? So, what are the types of credit? So, there are different types of credit. The first one is revolving credit. It can both be secured and unsecured. So, with revolving credit, you're giving a maximum borrowing limit and you can make charges up to that limit. You must make a minimum payment each month, but otherwise, the amount you pay can be any portion of your outstanding charges up to the full amount. If you make a partial payment, you will carry forward the remainder of your balance or revolve the debt. Most credit cards count as revolving credit. So, charge cards. Charge cards, a little bit similar to revolving cards, but the difference is you can't leave a balance on these cards. These differ in the sense that they require the cardholder to pay the entire balance in full each month. They were once commonly issued by retailers for use exclusively in their establishment. Charge cards are relatively rare these days in some senses. So unlike credit cards, charge cards don't extend credit to their users. Since charge cards do not allow users to carry a balance, they're not good debt consolidation tools. All right. Installment credit is a loan for a specific sum of money that you agree to repay plus interest and fees in a series of equal monthly payments, or we call it installments, over a set period of time. Student loans, personal loans, car loans, mortgages, furniture loans, secure loans are all types of or examples of installment credit. So here's to make it easier for you guys. When you think of revolving credit, think of something that is continuous, that's forever if you want it to be. Sort of like your revolving cards or revolving credit is like your credit cards, right? Your charge cards, your unsecured cards. They are continuous. They are revolving. When you think of installment credit, think of, again, the student loans, personal loans, car loans, mortgages. They have a ending date in mind, meaning they do not last forever. So the strategy here, for those of you who want to have a better credit history, have more revolving accounts than you do installment accounts. But I'll break all of that down on how many total accounts you need altogether to make it worth your while. Service credit, this is not talked about a lot, but your contracts with service providers such as your gas, your electric, utilities, cable, internet providers, cell phone service companies, gyms are all credit agreements. So these companies provide their service to you each month with the understanding that you will pay for them after the fact, right? Why do you need credit? Well, credit is necessary if you plan to borrow money for major purchases such as a car, a home, or to get that revolving credit card, or to get that rewards card. So it just varies based on your particular need at that time. Maybe you want to take advantage of the convenience and purchase protection of a credit card can provide. There are credit cards with certain perks and benefits. There are credit cards with different cashback rewards points, right? There are tons of different ways on tons of different cards that you can be able to utilize to help not only put money back in your pocket, but become a very concierge service tool for you. All right. So a higher credit score can mean better interest rates and terms on loans and credit cards. Many credit card issuers also reserve their most enticing rewards and cards for customers with great credit. Right. So lenders aren't the only ones who concern themselves with your credit. So this is why it's very important and why you need credit. So other people that look at your credit scores, landlords may check your credit when deciding if they will rent to you an apartment or determining how large a security deposit to require. Insurance companies may use your credit scores as factors in determining your rates, whether it's car insurance, homeowners insurance, even life insurance in some cases, health insurance. They look at your credit too as well. Utility companies may check your credit before deciding to let you open an account or borrow equipment. Prospective employers, even jobs, are looking at your credit now from information found on credit reports to make a hiring decision, right? So it's very important. Your credit report can be even used to verify your identity and for other purposes defined by federal law, all right? So what is a credit score? A credit score is a numerical expression based on a level analysis of a person's credit files. This represents the credit worthiness of the individual. This was one of the questions on the pretest. So credit score is the number lenders use to help them decide, if I give this person a loan or a credit card, how likely is it I will get paid and paid back on time? So it's generated through statistical models using elements from your credit report. So what's on your credit report? So that's when we go into the credit scoring, which is a grading system creditors use to help determine whether to extend your credit. So information about you and your credit report experiences, such as your bill paying history, the number and types of accounts you have, the late payments, collection actions, outstanding debt, the age of your accounts, is collected from your credit application and your credit report. So onto the credit report. So what's in the credit report? Your credit report contains your credit history as reported to the credit reporting agency by lenders who have extended you credit to you. So your credit report lists what types of credit you use, the length of time your accounts have been open, whether you've paid your bills on time. It also tells lenders how much credit you've used and whether you're seeking new sources of credit. It gives lenders a broader view of your credit history than other data sources, such as banks' own customer data. The credit report also includes information on where you live, whether you've been sued or arrested or have filed for bankruptcy. Personal identifiable information, what we call PII. These are one of the 4 categories of information on your credit. So your name, address, social security number, date of birth, and employment information are used to identify you. Your personal identifier information is not used to calculate your FICO scores. Updates to this information come from information you supply to lenders when you apply for new credit, when you're applying for that new car, when you're applying for that new house, when you're applying for that loan. These are all the information or pieces of information that is collected once you give them on that application. So even though the personal identifier information section does not calculate your FICO scores, certain data such as your name can affect your credit score if it's tied to specific accounts on your credit. All right. So let's say my name is Anterio Jackson, and on the credit file, it has an alias name named Antonio Jackson, which is not my name. So if there was an account attached to that Antonio Jackson and I corrected it with the correct information, there's a high probability of whatever accounts that are attached to that Antonio Jackson. And if I get that deleted and corrected with the updated information, whatever accounts that are attached to that could possibly be deleted. So it doesn't directly affect it, but when you change specific information, mainly the name, it does have a unique impact depending on what counts tied to the name of your personal information section. Another category of your credit report is the credit accounts. Lenders report on each account you have established with them. They report the type of account, such as your credit card, your auto loan, your mortgage, etc. The date you open the account, your credit limit or loan amount, the account balance, and your payment history, including whether or not you have made your payments on time, is also calculated. Credit inquiries, one of my favorites. When you apply for a loan, you authorize the lender to ask for a copy of your credit report. This is how inquiries appear in your credit card. Your credit report. These inquiries section contains a list of everyone who has accessed your credit report within the last 2 years. The report you see lists both hard and soft inquiries, right? Hard inquiries are spurred by a request for credit, and soft inquiries, such as when lenders order your report to send you a pre-approved credit offer in the mail. Hard inquiries, you get those when you're applying for something to get something. Soft inquiries are those when you're just trying to check it, either on your own or for pre-approved offers, right? Lenders can only see the hard inquiries on your credit profile. Soft inquiries are only visible to you. Inquiries have no effect. Soft inquiries have no effect on your FICO scores. While multiple hard inquiries can be an indication potentially of high risk, and it may cause your score to dip depending on the use case. So some of us may go car shopping, right? And we're looking for a particular vehicle. They could use that as a rates, a shopping rate. You're shopping for rates. So they can consider multiple inquiries from that car dealership to be considered one inquiry, right? Public record and collections. So court records, public records such as bankruptcies, judgments, satisfied judgments, liens, satisfied liens, and divorce. Most court records, including satisfied liens and judgments, are also on your credit report. Collection accounts, when any credit account is referred to a collection agency or the collections department of a credit grantor because of the delinquency or was non-payment or other reason, it shows on a credit report as a collection account. Collection accounts can appear as paid or unpaid accounts. Any account that shows as a collection account, whether paid or not, is considered very negative by credit grantors. It's good that they see it that it's paid, but unfortunately it happened, right? So credit report sample. So I have a credit report of a live client that I once worked with and helped them get what they needed. This is the actual credit report. From those of you in the audience, I want you to be able to identify this report and put in the chat if you see anything wrong with this report. This is just one account. This is a student loan. And I want you to put in the chat if you see anything wrong with this report, if anything at all, right? So I'll give you a hint. Look from left to right. That'll be the hint that I give you. So we're going to take a moment for those in the audience to put in the chat what you see, if it's inconsistent, missing information, or unverifiable. You too as well, Emily. See if you can get it right too. See if you can identify, if any, things that are wrong with this report. Elaine, you said missing the terms with Equifax. Missing the terms with Equifax. Okay. Terms, number, month. Excellent. So let me do this. We got one. Exactly. Number, month, terms. Okay. Pay this off in 240 months. 240 months, 0. It's already paid off. Which one is it, bureaus? Which one is it? Excellent, Elaine. What else do you see? What else do you see? Like nothing so far. Everybody's saying it's golden.
I noticed that the date last active is different for each one. That's
Data
all
last
under,
active.
yeah.
Data last, absolutely, Emily. These are all different. So, and this is, they're even in a different year. They're all different. Excellent, I. What I'm looking for is inconsistencies, missing information, and unverifiable. I'm looking for compliance. I don't dispute accounts. I challenge the compliance using Metro 2, which is a different standard of reporting that the eOscar and the bureaus acknowledge. My goal is not to dispute whether the account belongs to my clients or not. My goal is to challenge the way the information is reported. Thus, by challenging the information on how it's reported, gives me incredible success in terms of getting accounts updated to positive reporting status and or deletions. Sue says 90 days late in one instance. So 90 days late. Are you referring to the payment status, Sue? Because they're all consistent. They're all consistent across the board. Okay. Well, this is it's all consistent. There's nothing wrong with this area. What else do you see? Look for what's I gave you the hint. Look for what's inconsistent, unverifiable, or missing information. We want to spend a few more seconds with this and we want to move on to the next one.
I noticed the date of last payment is different for each one.
Date of last payment. Date of last active. Yep, it's missing information here. It's missing information here. And this is all we can go off of right here for this is Equifax. However, these have nothing next to it, which they should be reporting. Last row under last payment status. Excellent. It's missing information here. It's showing was 90 days late. Well, my rebuttal is if it's 90 days late, how come there's nothing reported? How could we know? And if it was, These should be consistent across the board. Yes, Equifax is missing as well. So let me go through all the inconsistencies. So this was an example to see for you guys when you look at your credit reports. When I do this exercise right now you'll be able to go to your credit reports and see the same thing that I see. So I'm about to give you all the correct answers. First of all, we have to address the stars, which is truncation, right? We don't know what these numbers are, if they're numbers or letters, right? More than 4 could be potentially anybody's account. Less than 4 could be identity theft, because the less number of stars, the more you can kind of guess what that account is. That's the first issue. Next issue is date open. March 23rd compared to March 1st for these two, right? The balance is consistent. Number of months, terms, you got that right. Credit limit, okay, consistent. Past due, payment status, late 90 days, date last reported. These are two of the same, but this one is different. Which one is it? Was it reported on the 31st or the 1st? Comments, there's nothing here. It's missing information, yet they have a student loan here. It should be consistent across the board. So you guys did a great job. You got a few of them. These are the things that I look for. Even, let's say if this was lowercase where it says installment and this was uppercase, that will still be what is called an inconsistency. Let's try this again now with another report. So I'm going to go to the next one. You guys got it right. These are all of the different errors or mistakes that has been made on a credit report. Now we got another one. And I got this student loan deleted, by the way, because of the inconsistencies. So here's another one. Now look at this one. This time it has a 2-year payment history involved in it. This is a Identity IQ MyScore credit report, which gives me more data points. So looking at this credit report, what do you guys see? This is very valuable information. I think this is something you all need to know how to be able to read. This is a huge, huge skill set for you all when it comes to challenging what's on your credit report, because there's a lot of things on your credit report that are wrong and it needs to be corrected. No balance for Equifax. All right, perfect. So let's go to the balance. That is correct. There's an inconsistency here. Excellent. Who said that? Elaine, excellent. What else? We just did this. No term for Equifax. Okay, perfect. What else do you see, Elaine? Elaine is on a roll. She's on a roll. She's on a roll. What else do you see, Elaine? Come on, Jerry, Sue. I want some replies from you guys too. Credit for Equifax. So are you referring to the credit limit? Are you referring to the credit limit? High credit. Okay. Okay. There's an inconsistency here compared to the other two bureaus. Excellent.
The payment status is different for Equifax. It says unknown.
Payment status, huge. So collection charge off, but Equifax doesn't know what it is. It's unknown. Huge inconsistency.
And it's also blank where it says account type detail.
Account type detail, absolutely. It's missing information. What else do you see? Unknown payment status, Equifax number of years, number of, absolutely, yep. Let's see. Unknown payment status. All right. So here's what I see when I'm looking at it. Let me go to the next one. This is what I see. This is how I mark up my credit reports to my clients. First of all, there's an issue with the account number. They're all different. They're all different. All the account numbers are different. We don't know whose account this is. This can't be my client's account. Look at all these different account numbers. They're not even the same. Account type detail. What these numbers are over here are the codes for Metro 2. Missing information, inconsistent. Well, how's a derogatory, and this one is open? Which one is it? Is it closed or open? Date open, inconsistent. Errors, right? It's two different dates. It's on September 10th and September 1st. So are you saying that I have two accounts open on different dates? How's that possible? Balance is different. Inconsistent. Number of months is inconsistent. High credit is inconsistent. Payment status, you got it right, inconsistent. Last reported, inconsistent. Look at that. That's a whole 2 years. October 31st, 2018 and January 1st, 2020. Y'all need to be consistent. Comments, they're all inconsistent. They all say different things. Data last active, same thing, different. Whole different, it's a whole different month, couple of months. Last payment, inconsistent. 2-year payment history. Well, judging from this, TransUnion is showing an account here. Experian is showing an account here. Equifax is showing an account. Why isn't any history showing anything? It's missing information. Okay, you say it's derogatory. It's derogatory for Experian. And in October, it's charged off. Yet, if it's charged off, Equifax, how can it be okay again? How can the account be in good standing if it's been charged off, if the account is closed? But yet they're saying it's open, right? How is it 30 days late, 60 days late, 90 days late, 120 days late, and then another 120 days late? How can it be 120 days late twice? That doesn't make sense. You all need to look at your reports. I guarantee you, you're going to have tons of errors just like this. There has not been one report where I saw was 100% successfully done. But I wanted to show you all this example because this is harming, and injuring your credit report. Now you see how important this work is. All right. So as it relates to, let me get rid of that. All right. So hold on. Yeah. All right. So as it relates to your credit report, you can get it for $1. I have 2 links, one that shows the Vantage score and one that shows the FICO. These are the links I posted here where you can get it for $1 for the first 7 days to see what your credit score is. So this is a great opportunity. So if you decide to cancel within 7 days, that's perfectly fine. But you get to at least see the full totality of your credit score without having to pay the full price, right? For those of you who have like Credit Karma, it doesn't give you all 3 bureaus, and the third bureau I believe is Experian. It only gives you TransUnion and Equifax. So definitely take advantage of it. These are the 2 links here represented today. Yep, last reported date way off. You're right, Elaine. Absolutely. So here's how to build credit. And if you don't understand one of these, please respond in the chat and I will go over what that means. So here's how to build credit. Apply for secure credit card. If you don't know what these are, just type it in the type it in the chat. So for the first 7 days, Elaine, what I mean by is that you can get a copy of your credit report for $1 for the first 7 days. After the 7 days, they're going to charge you the full price of about between 34 to about 26 to $34, depending on which credit report you go for, whether it's the Vantage or the FICO score version. So yeah, after 7 days, you pay the full price every month.
I had a quick question too, like with
Yes.
something like Credit Karma, are you able to see all these inconsistencies and mistakes? Because what I look at Credit Karma is completely different than what we just looked at.
It is. So Credit Karma is not a credit monitoring site. They're a marketing site. They get paid to give you pre-approved credit offers on their platform. They get a kickback for everything you apply for. So they pay the bureaus pennies on a dollar to siphon to get information on you. And it's not the full thing. If they had all three, of course they're going to charge you for it. But their way, because they can get it for pennies on dollar, is because they have a massive database of people that subscribe to it. So if you got millions of people subscribing to their service, of course they can get it for darn near cheap. So when you get a credit pre-approved offer, when you apply for a secured credit card or credit card or loan, they get a piece of that. So it's worth it to spend a few cents to get information, maybe not all information, but just a few enough accounts. And here's how they get you. They send you notifications every time your credit changes. There are changes every day to your credit. So you get these notifications hoping that once they bring you more and more to the app, which is genius, by the way, it's genius. They want you to, they recommend, hey, we recommend you apply for this. So I believe it's a genius idea. They found a way to get people to apply for more offers out there. And it's more exposure to the companies that do business with them too. So hope that answers your question.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. How do I get rid of that? Okay. So apply for a secure credit card. Apply for a credit builder loan. Again, if you don't understand what these terms are, just type it in the chat and I'll explain it. Get credit for the rent you pay, PRBC. We talked about this in the last workshop. Personal loans and secure loans helps build your credit. Of course, credit cards, retail store credit cards, removing negative information from accounts or updating, asking for a credit limit increase. I put asterisk stars by that. There's a reason why. Hopefully somebody would ask it in the chat. Borrow from lenders that report to the credit bureaus, diversifying your credit. Piggybacking methods, which include cosigner, guarantor, joint account, and authorized user. Of these different types of methods of building credit, does anybody have any questions about any of these that they may not understand? Because if you don't reply, I'm assuming you understand what these are. I'll give you a few seconds to hear your piece or your piece. 5.
Can you explain the difference between a joint account and an authorized user?
Absolutely. So a joint account is assumed by two people or used by two individuals. This is the intention is for both users to use the account. So therefore both share in the responsibility of said account. So typically those who get joint accounts are usually people in relationships or marriage, usually husband and wife or, spouse, or any type of the joint establishment for, spending purposes. So a joint account, both share in a responsibility. Both are responsible for a shared account equally, right? Authorized user. An authorized user is someone that is, so let's say, for example, I have a credit card. I had it for 10 years. And let's say you need to help build your credit too. So I make you a authorized user on my credit card, just at one account. I make you an authorized user on my credit card. Once I put you on my credit card, you get the same benefits of that credit card history added to your credit profile. However, if I default on my credit card, and I raise up the balance in full and stop paying it, your credit report will get a ding for it. It get hurt. It'll affect you greatly. However, if it goes into collections, you're not responsible for my credit card, right? And they're going to take it off your credit if I do bad with that particular account. So this is a great strategy for parents who have children under the age of 18 years of age. If you want to build their credit, here's a great gem and a strategy. Build your children's credit by putting them on your credit cards as an authorized user. Make sure that you're taking care of your credit cards. Make them an authorized user. Help to build their credit. So by the time they reach 18 years of age and they're able to apply for their own things, this will help greatly when it comes to college education. Many parents do not like taking out Parent Plus loans. So if you build your child's credit while making them an authorized user on multiple accounts, that helps to increase their credit rating so they get better negotiation of terms and rates as it relates to loans, right? So that is a heck of a strategy to be able to use for someone. So in other words, in a nutshell, you take advantage of the credit history without the risk of paying the debt or being responsible for that party's debt. Hope that makes sense to you, Emily.
Yeah, what is the youngest somebody can become an authorized user, like on their parents' credit card?
So different credit cards have, great question. Different credit cards have different age limits. Some are maybe 1 year old, some 8 years old. It just depends on what their terms are. So if you want, just shoot me an email. I can provide you a list. Actually, I might maybe add that to the slide for like a list of examples of credit cards that allow for one or multiple users, authorized users, as well as at what age does it start where it can add them as an authorized user. I may add that. So if you want a copy of that, I can definitely forward it to you. Just shoot me an email now.
So like a 16-year-old could be using their parents' credit card and maybe their parent has 20 years of credit history. They get that even though they're
that's tremendous. So if that parent allowed their child to be an authorized user on that credit card, that'll do tremendous benefit for that child. So by the time they turn 18, they can buy property while they're in college.
Wow.
That's how powerful it is, right? So there's different strategies. So what categories are considered when calculating your FICO score? The first one is payment history. This accounts for 35% of your score. This is the first thing any lender wants to know whether you've paid past credit accounts on time. This helps the lender figure out the amount of risk it will take on when extending credit. This is the most important factor in the FICO score. Be sure to keep your accounts in good standing to build a healthy credit score. And a history. Having credit accounts. This is the amounts owed or utilization. This accounts for 30% of your credit score. Having credit accounts and owing money on them does not necessarily mean you're a high-risk borrower with a low FICO score. However, if you're using a lot of your available credit, this may indicate that you are overextended, and banks can interpret this to mean that you are in a higher risk of defaulting. Length or age of credit history. This is one of the questions on the test. It's 15% of your score. In general, the longer credit history will increase your FICO scores. However, even people who haven't been using credit for long may have high FICO scores, depending on how the rest of their credit report looks. Oh, excuse me. Your FICO scores take into account how long your credit accounts have been established, including the age of your oldest account, the age of your newest accounts, and the average of all your accounts combined. So how long specific credit accounts have been established, how long it has been since you used certain accounts, and so forth. Next is credit mix or types of credit. This accounts for 10% of your score. FICO scores would consider a mix of your credit cards, retail accounts, installment loans, finance company accounts, mortgage loans, revolving credit accounts, charge cards. Those are mixed use. New credit or increase accounts for 10% of your scores. This looks at several credit accounts in short of amount of time, represents a greater risk, especially for people who don't have a long history. If you can avoid it, try not to open too many accounts too rapidly. So, credit score breakdown. If your credit score ranges from 300 to 850, how many points in between? If your credit score ranges from 300 to 850, how many points in between? This should be a good one. This should be an easy one. Think about it. I'll give you a hint. If by default you're given 300 points out the gate, how many points do you have to work for? The answer is 550. So if our scoring range is from 300 to 850 and 300 is by default what we get automatically without doing anything, all we have to work for or solve for is 550 points. So here's how to get the perfect credit score. I'm going to break it down to you. You might want to take notes because this might get ugly. All right. So we're going to start right here to the bottom left. Payment history. It's 35% of your score. 35% of the 550 that we need is 192.5 points. The solution to getting all of those points in that category is to make 100% of your payments on time. Simple. Utilization accounts for 30% of your score. 30% of 550 is 165 points. The solution, pay your credit card balance in full each month. Length or age of credit history accounts for 15% of your score. 15% of 550 is 82.5 points. Solution, have 9+ years average or more years average of all accounts. 9 is like the start. After 2 years of an account is considered mature. 9 years or more, now we're cooking with gas. All right. Types or mix of credit is 10% of your score. 10% of 550 is 55 points. Solution, have a combination of installment, revolving, and open-ended or charge cards. Open-ended is another word for charge cards. So having a combination of these accounts helps you to build that credit score category. New credit increase is 10% of your score. 10% of 550 is 55 points. Solution to getting all of those points in that category is to have 0 increase. Well, you're probably asking yourself, well, I need to get accounts and it requires increase. The beautiful thing is with increase, after the first year, you get the points back. After the second year, statute of limitations, it falls off your credit naturally. All right. Here's another view of it. Let's focus on the excellent category of what you will need. Payment history has to be 100%. Utilization, 0 to 9%. Derogatory, 0. Age of credit history, 9+ years of all accounts. Total number of accounts over time, not all at once, but over time you accumulate accounts. It's 21 or more. That's the one we get the most hiccups on because they're like, I got to apply for all these accounts. Yes. It requires money to build credit. Credit is not a set and a forget it thing. You gotta spend money to build credit. Because if you don't spend money, you got a credit card that you just recently got and you don't make transactions on it, they will close it within 18 months. Understand you have to spend money to build credit. Credit requires money. Credit increase, 0. See all the very poor, fair, and good. Derogatories, no more, definitely no more than 4+. 3, 1 is cool. Eventually it'll fall off, right? Where are you guys at in terms of age or years? If you'd like to share, where your number of years? How long have you had your credit history? How many accounts do you have? What are your credit inquiries? Current utilization, payment history. So these are the metrics for literally positioning yourself to getting a perfect credit score. And now we would go to our post test. So let me add this post test into the chat. Oh, let me bring it back. All right. Let's see what you all get here. It's a trick question. No, it's not. It's not a trick question. Here is the post test to see and test you guys' knowledge. I want 10 out of 10s. Hopefully, I would love 10 out of 10s. You there, Emily?
Yes, I'm taking the post test right now.
Okay. Let me know what you get, Elaine and Jerry. See if we can get some 10 out of 10s on this particular report. Perfect. All right. Yeah, I put it in it's in the chat box. It's right here, Elaine. I put it there. It is again. Are you able to see it? Let's see. Try it again. To everyone.
Oh, I was so close. I got 9 out of 10.
Which question do you think it was the one?
I was tripped up on, there was one, I don't know if I got it right or wrong. It was asking what is not on a credit report.
Okay. So you want me to tell you which one you got wrong?
Well, then you'd be helping everyone else. Maybe we should wait.
Right. Right.
And then the true false, I think I answered it correctly, but it was worded kind of interesting. So
Exactly. So I know exactly which one you're talking about too. I know exactly which one you're talking about. So let me go to it on my back office real quick. So I was very specific in how I asked it too, just to.
Yeah, I think I caught what you're trying to do.
So I asked, where is it at? True or false? You talking about the maxing out your credit question?
Yes.
Maxing out your credit card won't hurt your score as long as you make your payments in full after the due date.
After.
Oh, that was a good one. That trips everybody up usually. Let me see what yours.
I think I answered it correctly. I'm wondering if I got the one wrong that was what is not on a credit report. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be able to know. All right. Ooh. Elaine just finished it too. I'm logging into your results, Emily.
Okay.
She just finished hers. I'm gonna let her know. Jerry is just silent. I haven't heard anything from Jerry, so I'm assuming no. That's the one you got wrong, Emily.
I wasn't sure. That one was tricky.
It's what is the best way to start building credit if you don't have an established credit history?
Oh, it was that one.
You said cosigner. The answer was secure credit card.
Okay. That one I was debating. I was like, because we talked about having the authorized user, which is that different than a cosigner? Is that what tripped me up?
Those are two different things. Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. So Emily out here with the 10 out of 10, showing up everybody. I'm sorry, Elaine. Elaine is smoking. She is smoking. She got it all right. Let me talk to you, Elaine. Get on the call for a second, Elaine.
Yes, sir.
You did excellent.
Thank you.
Yeah. Because the first time, what was it? What was the first time? What was your score the first time?
Today, 7.
7 out of 10. And yeah, you corrected them. The average score is like 5 out of 10, 4 out of 10.
On pre-test?
Yeah, yes. On the pre-test.
What about on post-test?
Post-test, of course, is like high, 9 out of 10, 8 out of 10, 10 out of 10.
Yep.
Because after you watch the presentation, you got the answers.
Yep.
So yeah, so you did excellent. You did excellent. And yeah, that is my presentation for today. I was gonna play a little game, a Kahoot game that'll test even more knowledge about credit cards to see if people know it. But for the respect of your time, Emily, I didn't want to go over. It's already 11:03, so. And here's my survey. Just tell me how did you enjoy the presentation, and we'll go from there. Thank you so much, Elaine. I appreciate that. This really means a lot. I love this industry. I love this content that I've came up with, and this is transcended a lot of people's lives, and I just appreciate people taking the time to listen to it, because it is something that people need. It's something that people definitely would want to know, because I get a lot of questions about credit all day long. So yeah. So take the survey. Definitely give me your honest feedback. What can I improve on? How can I get better? That's how I get better during the presentations, just through surveys. So I definitely appreciate it. And Elaine, and the other users that were here last 2 weeks ago, I will be getting that information to the that is called my niche discounts platform that gets you to 10 to 50% off on your everyday items that you purchase. It's called nichediscount.com, nichediscounts.com. And I'll get that out to you today. Actually, once we're done with the presentation, I'll work to get that to you, Elaine, and everybody that was here last week, out to them, so you can get your access to the membership. Absolutely. Emily, I'm done. If you have anything.
That's about it. We have a quick ElderWorks survey as well. It's just a few questions. If you guys can answer that, we'd appreciate that. Thank you, Anterio, for a great presentation. I definitely learned a lot. So
thank you.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. All right. Thank you so much for having me. And hopefully we can do some more in the future. I would love to.
Great.
I got tons more topics. So
Okay.
Absolutely.
Great.
Thank you.
Okay.
All
Thanks,
right.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.